YKTR sports merch, not including DGens.
Not the DGen stuff. Out of the Willy Nilly sick.
Yeah.
The Willy Wonka factory. It's fucking giggle. And plus I'm looking purple as too.
Who started Willy Nilly? You?
I know
there was a Willy Nilly Wednesdays.
That's not the first time I heard it. So Richie Farso come in on a training session on fucking a Wednesday and he goes, boys, kick the feet up today, Willy Nilly Wednesday. So from that point on, like I don't know where, like I know I'd probably heard it before somewhere else, but
I love it when Chico says it, eh?
Yeah.
Like when he gets half angry, you go, can't just rock up here willy-nilly. All right, well, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the YKTR Sports Show. We are back in the office. I've just survived COVID, overachieving as always, one of the first people to get it and get through it as well. So we will be doing a podcast on that a little bit later. As always, brought to you by BSC, currently in the BSC content studio. Speaking of willy-nilly, we've just thrown that sign up on top of the cause head.
Looks like it's photoshopped on.
Yeah, it looks a little bit weird, but joined as always by my main man, Skipper Scope. What's been happening, bro?
You know what? Can't break me, baby. It's too much BSC, too much vibe culture. I didn't get COVID, baby. Tested twice negative last week after being with you on the Monday. So,
bro,
I'm indestructible, baby. What's up?
When I got it, did you think you had it straight away?
Yeah. But like I didn't feel anything, but I just thought I thought it might have been one of those cases where you know how is it asymptomatic if you can get it and you just don't really feel anything, and that's what I thought I am, baby, because I'm asymptomatic. But I got tested twice. So I got the first day on the Tuesday, and then again last week just in case. They said that it takes a couple of weeks, and both times come back negative. So
did you ever see when Dave Portnoy got it? He's like, COVID's fucked up. She came after the press. All right, guys, we're going to do a bit of a preview show. Got Jackson narrating the show off the back of the Zoom shows. We feel like this show kind of flows a little bit better. So got Jackson a bit of a distance away. So, hey, bro, what's up? What's been happening?
1.5, baby.
Can you hear me over here?
1.5, baby.
Can you just pull your computer in a little bit because you're kind of in Scope's shot. So pull it closer to you.
Shit, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Taking up the scope.
YKTR Sports. YKTR Sports Show.
All right, let's rip straight back into the footy. Obviously, this is the preview show. We do have fan questions as well. And Skip, I want to get your take on my my Firebirds, Jets, Dolphins squad as well. But we'll get to that later on.
Yep.
Isaac, starting off with you, bro. Your boys, Newey, taking on the Gold Coast on Thursday night. The equation's pretty simple for this one. If the Knights win, they're in, secured the top 8 spot, and vice versa. If the Gold Coast lose, they're all but out. They start using the word mathematical. So Thursday night footy, who you got and why?
I'm definitely going to go Newcastle just because, one, I'm very biased. I'm a Newcastle fan off the back of that as well. I think Jakey Clifford's been a nice little inclusion for the boys as well. He's to be honest, I didn't know too much about him coming through. I thought he was super kick happy, but he has got a massive boot on him. The bombs go super high, but I really am starting to enjoy his running game. Got a bit of a mutters about him too as well. So
yeah, I love that.
I definitely think Newcastle are going to do it just because there's enough talent to get them by as well. Big fan of the Titans, Jaden Campbell. So obviously we'll touch on him a little bit as well. But man, I think Newcastle get it done. I don't think Titans are the team to absorb that type of pressure just yet. I still think they're going to get in. Do you think they're going to get in?
Yeah, I think they're going to get in because they're going to win this game, and then they need.
So you reckon Titans are going to win this game?
I've got Titans in this game
because it just means a bit more to them.
They have to win. Newcastle have looked like, although they've been winning the last 3 weeks, they have looked a little bit shaky. They have looked a little bit nervous. It can go two ways with that. One, the pressure's relieved now. Like they've got a 4 points gap so they're on 24. The other teams are on 20 behind them. So they've got that breathing room. Maybe that just lets them play with a bit of freedom. But I'm going to bank on the Titans are desperate. Dave Fafita's been in the press a fair bit this week. There's a lot of negative talk around him about his role and how much he's on there. So I'm expecting a real big game from them. Plus, they only played about 10 weeks ago and needed a proper number on him. He scored about two or three of the best.
He's been dropped to the bench this week.
Yeah, he has been doing his best work off the bench.
I don't mind that, bro. I know there's a massive thing of like starting and being a bench player. I think that stigma's gone. I heard Brad Fittler talk about your number 14 should be worth 400, 500K right now. Where you look at guys like Connor Watson who can come in and do a job and actually influence the game. I don't think it matters if you start or come off the bench right now. And I know a lot of people see the $1 million price tag and they're like, oh, you should be doing this and that. Man, if he can score 2 tries off the bench, he's probably worth that price tag.
When some of the better games that he's played, he's come on at the 25-minute mark, had an instant impact, and they've been able to kick away. So they had 3 wins in a row. You know, when they went through that nice little purple patch a couple of weeks ago, he come off the bench and I think two out of 3 or maybe 3 out of 3 of those come on, scored a try, they got a big lead, and then they just really sailed away in the second half. So like you said, if you play 65 minutes starting or 65 minutes coming off the bench, you're still getting the same amount of minutes there you're going to get out of him. He's probably not an 80-minute player. So you got to lower your expectations on him on that at the moment.
So would you play him more like a Jason Tomololo? Like just, bro, I need you on here for 55, 60 minutes, but when you're on there, you're going fucking bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. And I want him on at the end of the game with juice in his legs. So if he comes off the bench, I think that's a positive. They've got a few like toilers that they can chuck on in that role. Tino gets through a shitload of work at the start of the game, and he can maintain that and go through all the way to the end of the game and give him a spell. So you know how we talked about Tino and David Fafita 1-2 on each other. You know, when Tito starts to gas, bring Fafita on, so they've still got that nice punch, and then you bring Tino back on because he's still going to perform but well at the end, and Dave Fafita isn't as gassed at the end of the game. So it's a must-win for the Titans, and I got them winning it.
I think the hard thing about I don't think he has figured out how to get into the game a lot more. So sometimes, like a lot of coaches say, get into the game by getting an early touch and getting behind the ball, getting an early carry. I think he just sort of chooses and picks when he wants to play, and I think that's where a lot of people are starting to get frustrated with him. I don't think he's got Fogarty inside of him. That's probably not going to give him the type of ball that he'd want. So then he just kind of goes missing a little bit. So, man, just trying to figure out his favourite player is getting dropped off underneath and skipping back across, but he needs to figure out ways to run a tight line, play early off the back of it, and you'll find those sort of plays sort of open up for themselves. So, I think the thing that was frustrating about him last week was letting Munster through off the back of that dummy.
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone's got to remember, this is the Melbourne Storm. Melbourne Storm are doing this they would have identified Dave Fafita, sent a whole lot of traffic at him, make him make a lot of tackles, 3 or 4 people in every tackle. I'm not saying, he is paid big money, so he's got to step up to these moments. But Melbourne do this to all the best players. Yep. They neutralise them out of the game. So it was, I think before that, they might have been on a 3-game win streak, or did they lose the week before, Jacko? Can you check if they lost? But I know they won 3 in a row at one point. So I'm not getting too, I'm not going to get into him on the back of one bad game against the Melbourne Storm, because like I said, they can fucking do that. They did it to Tommy Turbo in a way. They essentially took him out of the game for about 40 or 50 minutes.
The Bunnies the week before put a lick on him.
Oh, I say the Bunnies, yeah. So there was before that. They've come up against the 2 bigger teams. You want your best players to be playing their best footy, but I just think it says more about where the top teams are compared to the lower teams.
I read a satire sort of tweet today on YKTR Sports. You read it?
No, not yet.
Breaking news, Melbourne Storm have been advised by Queensland Government to play in masks this weekend due to exercise not being considered strenuous enough. I stole that, bro, from the Kiddies Run Club. Question, if Melbourne Storm played with masks on, would they still win?
Probably. They probably would. I don't know.
Be a bit of a giggle.
Yeah, it'd be a giggle.
Who they got this week?
Para.
Imagine that, just smacking Para with mask on to be a fucking giggle. All right, so sort of rolling into the next topic. We've got Campbell versus Ponga, obviously Ponga's been around a little bit more. One of the most talented players in our game. My favourite player going up against Campbell, man. He's got nice touches, Scope?
Yeah, he's silky, bro. He's just, puts him, he's got like that really...
Indigenous boys just know
where the Indigenous boys, like the instincts and that are really good always, but his quickness around the 5 to 10 metre mark and being able to get to where he come from to get that ball that bounced. It looked like you honestly didn't see him
willy-nilly.
You didn't even see him in the picture until last minute. So as soon as it popped up in the air for about 10 metres or so, at feet, 7 or 8 feet, he just swooped in and took it under the
rumours going around that he's re-signed. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but great re-signing off the back of that. Titans, smart move by those boys. They've kind of just gone, yeah, he's going to be a gun. May have been on 70, 80K maybe.
They're on a development contract. I don't know what they're worth.
Well, they are 50K or something.
Yeah, fuck all.
And plus matchy. So he's getting probably about 3K a game as well. So they would have probably topped him up to a 160, 180, 200. I'm just making up these numbers, but man, he's going to be worth a lot more than that. He'll be playing at around 350, 400K mark, I reckon, next year. So great signing by him. But what does that mean for the spine next year? I'll put some pressure on your Scope. Round 1, how are the Titans lining up and Drew's aside?
It's a tough one because Fogarty's their captain, and it's hard to leave your co-captain out of the team. So
Kurt Gilly was captain of New South Wales and got put on the bench.
Yeah, it's a different beast origin. I'm going to go, for me, I know he got dropped last week, but I love Toby Sexton. I'd like Toby. Ash Taylor's a big one. I can't see them re-signing him now if this is the case, because if you do re-sign Jaden Campbell, where does Brimo go? Does Brimo go into the 5'8"?
I'm going Sexton 7, Brimo 6, Campbell 1.
I like it. It's a tough one. I
Shit,
feel
baby, can you fucking make a decision or what?
Yeah, all right. Let's. This is based off the origin.
It's round one.
Yeah, but I want to get it right. So
you do your best on futures, don't you?
yeah, I do my best work on futures. I'm going Campbell fullback. They do have there's not a solid centre for him at the moment. It's in between Patrick Herb and Brian Kelly are solid. I'm going Brimo in the centres. He did a good job against Tommy Turbo when he come on at limited capacity. He had come on the second half, but he did a good job. It's hard to fit him in. And I'm in my head. I'm straight away when I'm saying putting Brimo at centres, I'm taking him out of the game. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, that's not the way.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the way. Eh?
Play him at 6.
Yeah, you got to get your highest paid player, your best player. You got to get the ball in his hands as much as possible and let him figure out the 6 after about 6 or 7 rounds.
All right. Yeah, I'm you've got me pickled here. But all right, let's
Pickle bit.
Yeah, pickle bet. Yeah, Jaden Campbell, Brimo 6, Toby Sexton 7, and Skipper Fogarty on the bench 14.
Yeah,
Not bad.
agree.
Where do you put Tyrone Peachy? Anyway, this conversation could go forever.
He's not
Can
signed.
Fogarty
yet.
play hooker?
I reckon he could. He's
got
tough
the biceps
enough.
for it, mate. He could play. Got those arms. He could play anywhere.
And he's he's got a good engine.
No.
Yeah, there you go. Put Fogarty in the 9.
So-
You've got to have the skipper on there somewhere.
So Knights to win this week. That's what we've broken it down to.
In summary,
Titans
No,
win.
I'm on Titans.
Speaking about a team that doesn't have the luxury to pick boys in any position, the Roosters are fielding it's the Roosters, so they're still going to be strong, but they are limping in terms of injuries at the moment. Old rivalry, taking on the Bunnies. They're up to $4, Skip, so I'm going to start with you here. Are you expecting a Bunnies bounce back? I know you got them charging all the way through in the original sort of ladder of yours. Bit of a hiccup last week, but it's a tough-looking Roosters side this week. How do you see it going?
That $4 is unders. Unders. Bunnies are going to bounce back. I think it might be close to begin with, just because of the pure respect I got for the Roosters and this rivalry. Like the Roosters Rabbitohs, there's going to be a lot in it. There's going to be a lot of nervous energy from the Rabbitohs because it's an important game for them to come out and perform well after that heartbreaking loss to the Panthers. So whether it takes a while to get into it, and just because of like I said, the respect I got for the rivalry, I think I might be a little bit close early, but I got the Rabbitohs kicking away quite comfortably, 13 plus in the back end of the game.
What's it paying for 1 to 12? That would be a good little value bet, I reckon. I think the Rabbitohs sort of
Might be about $3.54 as well.
Yeah,
for the Rabbitohs.
I think the Rabbitohs bounce back after that Penrith game. I think there's a lot of people riding them off at the moment as well. So I think Cody Walker's going to come in and have a big one. So I'd be loading up on the left side for that attack.
Yeah, they've got have they got a rookie that's coming in for.
So this is their lineup scope. I won't run through the entire team.
Yeah,
but
the winner,
Roosters?
Brad Abbey. That's it.
Brad Abbey's out there. They've got Lachlan Lamb in the centres, and the benches guys like Marshke, Ben Thomas. They're very far from full strength. They're limping.
Yeah.
As do you reckon Robbo's pulled all the guns playing like Teddy and that?
Yeah, so Teddy's still fullback, Toops is on the wing, Joey Manu's still on the centres, Matters Hutchinson is 6, Sammy Walker. You know, the 4-pack's still there, Tupanua, Takiaho, Hargraves.
They'll fight for 60.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
60,
yeah, like just the quality of that franchise and what they're about. And you know what I like, bro? I like that Egan Butcher.
Yeah, he's nice.
I like Egan Butcher. I think he's going to be a really good player for him next year when they're back full strength. I reckon we'll be hearing a lot more about it because his older brother is Fletcher.
No, it's Nate.
Nate Butcher.
Nate Butcher, yeah.
Yeah, Nat Butcher. Yeah, I think he's going to surpass him next year.
Everyone will be back at the Roosters. He'll just sort of fall back into his little role player.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Tupanua's a fucking gun, bro, and you hardly ever talk about him unless you're talking about anytime try scorers.
Scored a double in the centre scope.
He's like good, bro, and he's fucking...
I'm always on Tupanua. He's great.
He's fucking cool, too.
Anytime you can get $3 for Tupanua. Just letting you know, Ice, they're at $5.50 in the 1 to 12 as well.
Hey,
Might have a
load up, boys, load up.
And from a team who's decimated by injury to a team that's full strength, Penrith.
They're back.
They're back, baby. Taking on the Tigers on Sunday. Massive unders. Are you expecting a bit of a statement? We'll start with you here, Skip. Bit of a statement performance. We've got Fisher Harris back, Toto's back. Obviously, Cleary and Luai all back in. Crichton's gone onto the wing. How do you see it playing out?
I wish Dewey was playing.
Yeah.
Because of the shit that he talked last game. It would have been fun to see. The boys would have had that in the memory bank. I remember we played the Tigers in 13 in a similar situation. We played them at Leichhardt and they beat us and they actually touched us up by a little bit. Like Teddy was a part of that team. Aaron Woods was talking a lot of shit. And then the next time Woodsy was talking, but he played gun, right? So they did a number on us. Good on him. The boys talked about it just before we went out and played them. I think we might even talked about it in video. We watched a video of them telling us up and talking a bit of shit, and we did a number on them. So I'm expecting the same from Penrith. They were pretty confident last time they played them. Tigers look down and out. They look like they're really struggling for form. And
do you reckon that show's done them good or bad?
I think that's just who they are anyway at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. I don't think it's there are pros and cons to the show, obviously. I think we're getting to see, like, it's pretty cool to see some of the personalities at the team. Because, like, when I watch Dewey, sometimes I've watched him and I thought, oh, he's a bit of a fuckwit. And then I watch the show and I love him.
Yeah, so, he's the grouse.
Yeah, but, like, before I've watched...
my boy.
I've watched, like, even on that, like, a few other times I've watched him and I'm going, he looks like a hero. But then you watch him, you see what he's about. He's a fucking cool cat. So, in that term, in that way, like, it's pretty cool to see that side of it. But it does heighten it, like I said, with in particular, that Panthers game when he was coming at him, and if you see those little bits, it does give you ammunition. I'll bring it back to, again, 2015. Remember when Mace got mic'd up for that game against Newcastle? Yeah. Against the Dragons, when he was at Newcastle?
Yep.
And he talked so much shit to that pack. He was going, where are your front rowers and all that sort of shit. So he come to us the next year, Manly, and that Dragons pack absolutely hammered us.
Yeah.
Like, They got into us and we couldn't get any momentum. They were pissed off. You could tell they were like proper pissed off with like how they were perceived the year before. So if you look at it in that sense, there can be negatives obviously for it as well.
I had a phone call for a guy, big fan of the show, Luke Carey.
Yeah,
on the weekend, and we were talking. He loves footy, bro. So we just talk footy and shit like that. And he was going, the Penrith reminds him of when they won the comp. Whatever year they won, 14. Souths won the comp, where he goes, bro, we were sort of injured the whole year, and at the right time of the year, everyone sort of come back and it all just seemed to click.
Yeah.
And obviously, we both think that Souths are able to get him, but obviously, watching Nath play last week, and then Kerry said that as well, then everyone's coming back in, man. I think they're right back up there. I think they smacked the Tigers. I think Ive will get them up because Ive hates the Tigers. I don't care what he says in the media. He would be hating them. He would hate their fan base, hate everything about them, play it cool, calm and collected. Man, I think Penrith fucking smack him this week. Smack him.
13 plus is about $1.01 there, Skip. So
Hey, don't worry about 13 plus. Skipper's been looking at 40 plus for both that and Manly, and I think it's around. It was a bit of jam. I think I got $12 for the multi, and I might add a little nibble on that.
They're also back to full strength. Tommy, Saab, all the boys back.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that.
We do have a fan question coming up about your boy DCE as well, which we'll get to. But Skip, quickly before we get to the fan questions, and I also want to get your take on this as well. Bit of Foundation Club chat, obviously on the mag.
This is one of your better articles.
I'm getting it up now.
Thanks. On the the YKTR, the mag, I sort of just went on a bit of a deep dive into the potential. Obviously, yesterday was the meeting with Volandis where their prospective clubs pitch what they want to do, whether it's going to be Dolphins, Firehawks, Jets, who fucking knows. But I had a little look across the league scope. 2023 is when they're looking to come in, potentially 24.
Yep.
Based purely off players off contract in 2023, I've put together a bit of a side, and I tried to do this with respect to the salary cap. Like, I didn't just have Cheese, Ponga.
Are these just people actually coming off contract at the right time, or are you just making up names?
No, they're currently... So their contract is going to be done at the end of 2022. As it currently stands, with an exception, which I will get to, Cameron Munster is contracted through 2023. But here's a side anyway.
Make sure you pop the list up so that people can see it on YouTube.
I will. So I've gone with our boy Jaden Campbell at the 1. Obviously, that's kind of the franchise pillar here. And I'm using a lot of Gold Coast Titans references here, Skip, like when I think about them coming to the comp. Preston, Scotty Prince, that sort of foundation. So I've gone Jaden Campbell as their kind of franchise pillar, assuming he hasn't re-signed, which we're not too sure yet. But again, I've gone a guy like Alex Johnson on the wing. I just think you need an experienced point scorer there. In the centres, Herbie Farnworth and Eason Masters for different reasons. Herbie Farnworth, I think, has got all the silk, probably just needs a new system.
I like Herbie Farnsworth.
So do
Herbie
I.
fully loaded,
is he
baby.
big, bro?
He's pretty. I sent him up at Magic Weekend.
Is he bigger than what you think he'd be?
Bro, he's about my height and like...
No, he's not.
Bro, I'm telling you, he's not that much shorter than me, eh?
What are you, 6'?
I'm 6'3".
3?
I think he'd be about 6'1".
Yeah.
6 foot, 6
Wow.
foot 1. Yeah. Like when I was, because he's a Lancashire lad, so I had a couple of boys in the Wakey group chat, and we'll send him a few messages, like a bit of Wakey chat. But yeah,
Yorkshire scope.
Yorkshire skate, he hits different.
Nice player. Guy like Isan Masters, I sort of spoke to Isaac about this morning. I think we know the potential's there with Isan, just can't find his way into the Gold Coast side at the moment.
Yeah.
Fresh system, you probably get him on unders, and if he's at his best and you get value out of him.
He's good, bro. He's good.
Yeah, I
player.
like his. I know. I wonder why I can't just figure it out at the moment.
Hammerside WA Fido, still yet to be locked up on a big contract. I think if you're an emerging franchise, that's a guy.
What are you paying him?
Overs.
Jacko?
Pay overs to get him.
Josh out of
Yeah.
Josh out
Pay
of car
overs.
sort of money. I'm going overs and just banking on potential.
He's those types of players. He's a bit like we've talked about before, Jacko, when I did the blog on the Tigers. They've got to identify players like this, Jaden Campbell, Hammerso, that aren't locked in, that might get like 300 or 400 to play at their respective teams. Go give them 600-700, swing for the fences, have a crack on those sorts of players. And then if it doesn't work, at least you've had a proper crack at it.
Do you know who he reminds me of, Jacko? Glenn Fisher.
Yeah, don't say that.
Fish was nice, man.
Fisher's good, bro.
Yeah,
but
Fisher's
you know
good,
when they run, bro, it looks so effortless and
Gliding, yeah.
yeah, he's not moving quick, but then like no one else is catching up to him. It's so weird.
I told you, mate, the fastest human I've ever seen, the fastest land mammal was Glenn Fisher playing for the Auckland Vulcans, Mount Smart number 2.
I would have been happy, bro.
Shout out Liam Foran in his debut.
Snorkella.
Snorkella.
There's a throwback.
So the halves, obviously Scope, this is probably not a secret. Everyone's sort of thrown his name in there. I've gone the Prez. This has got an asterisk next to it because he is contracted through 2023. I think whatever foundation, organisation, club gets the go-ahead, that should be all of your attention should be on getting Wayne Bennett and or Cam Munster and build out
Or
from
Harry
there.
Grant.
Or Harry Grant.
Or Harry Grant or Kalen Ponga. They have to have a big name.
I've gone with
and
Prez
that
as my
way
big
they're
name.
able to attract other players. But they have to. It's got to be Cam Munster, Cheese, Harry Grant,
cheesy.
or Kalen Ponga. If you're that new, if you're going to get any sort of recruitment with one of those big names, it's got to be one of those guys. Good age.
Yeah.
Elite
I managed to sneak a Warrior in here too, which you'll like, Skip. Cody Nicarima at the 7, back up to Brizzy where he does his best work. There's not a whole lot of established
I
halves
love
coming
Cody.
off
I like
contract.
Cody.
I would have said Lukey Brooks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Needs a fresh start. Get out of the fucking
In
fishbowl
hindsight-
of Sydney.
In hindsight, that would have been a great shout. Ash Taylor's another one that I sort of saw having around there. And a guy like Toby Sexton, if he can't manage to break in and establish himself on the Gold Coast, could be another one. And then into the 4-pack, I've gone with Alex Twile. I just think he's an established first grader now. Sort of stiffens up that pack, gets to 80 minutes.
Did you see
Can't score
Kempy's stat on him that he hasn't missed a tackle in like 6 games?
Five
games.
games.
That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Hasn't scored a try in, 87 games going on now? So get up there and get your first meaty, Alex. I've gone with a guy like Josh Hodgson at 9. I was looking for sort of a captain.
He's my age, eh? Is he
Yeah,
88?
so 2023, he's going to very much be at the back 9 of his career. But I just think if you want experience, you want someone who's going to lead your side. He gets out of Canberra, could potentially be a lure for the English players if that's where you decide to go with recruitment.
You'd be able to get him pretty cheap for and considering experience.
I think so. So Josh Hodgson, I still think there's plenty of footy in Josh Hodgson. I'm obviously probably a bit higher on him than a lot of other people, but at the moment,
Oh, he's nice.
yeah, he's
good,
nice.
bro.
Number 10, Mo Fodawaker, another big fish. I've sort of targeted 3 or 4 big signings for me here. Mo Fodawaker would be a massive one. Origin, enforcer, number 1 go-for guy.
Yep.
Back row, Brenton Nakora, Kevy Proctor vibes on the Goldie there. Scope,
that's nice.
future leader
That's
of the
nice.
team, I see. Luke Garner, who I think is going to be a gun, and whoever can get
He
him
already
now,
is a gun.
yeah, get him as cheap as possible now because I think he's going to be that sort of
He's
Luke Lewisy, Wade Gramey sort of career.
He's never going to be the player that's going to get the big money,
No.
like that style of player.
He's
but
more a Luke
bang,
Lewis.
Bang for buck, he's
Luke
good,
Lewis
bro.
vibes
He's
on him,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, he runs a good line and he's strong, defends well. He's not like Wade.
He's a bit of anytime jam, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He can score for a double too.
Oh, can we do a list today on the best anytime jammers?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we've got a few favourites.
Yeah.
Tupanua.
Speaking of favourites, look at your 13.
Speaking of favourites, Big Tino.
Jeez, I might have a lick on him this week too. Big Tino for Sumalaloui.
The snack at $4.50 is always jam. So I've gone Tino there. Him and Cam Munster, along with Mo Fodawaker, are kind of my big fish pillar signings there. With Jaden Campbell.
Have you
being
left
that
anyone at the
franchise
Titans?
player. No, I've run him dry.
Just need David Fafita and then you've completely fucked him.
Yeah.
Nate Miles coming at 14.
The 14, I've gone with Tyrone Peachy, Mr. Fix It. He's bounced around enough clubs now. I don't think a change of scenery would be, rattle him at all. Could play him anywhere as to your depth, experience. Ethan Bullymore, who I'm a big fan of, gets to stay in Brisbane, continues to develop.
I like
You wouldn't
him.
have to pay him a lot at the moment. He's a fucking
Ueli.
nice player. Big Hamlin Ueli, managed to sneak another Kiwi in there. I think by 2023, Hamlin Ueli is going to be sort of trending towards that Fisher-Harris category. I think he's elite. He's going to be an international staple for New Zealand.
Has he got the engine?
not right now. He sort of subs with, is it Royce Hunt? Royce Hunt, they kind of go 1-2 punch.
Bro, I reckon engines, bro, you either got him or you don't.
Yeah.
It's very hard to establish at this point of his career because he's been around for about
he's
3
been
or 4
around
years
long
now.
enough. Yeah.
3 or 4 years. You've seen sort of...
Look at Payne Haas. He's got an engine.
He's got an engine. Yeah.
It could be one of those journo things. You keep him out of the breath of James Fisher-Harris at this point.
Journo Jackson.
And that's respectful to Braden because I love him as a player, but
I'm forecasting him.
James Fisher-Harris is going for 65, 70 of the best every week.
Kaney Evans on the 17.
Kaney Evans just folds some cunt. Yeah, I think it's when you get there, you're starting to, with that, respectfully, you just need some bodies to go in there and sub in. I think Kaney Evans fits that build. And 18, I've snuck fan favourite of YKTR. K-Cuss, baby. So there you go, Scope. There you are. In summary, Jaden Campbell, Alex Johnson, Herbie Farnworth, Isan Masters, Tabu Waifido, Cam Munster and Nicarima in the halves, Alex Twile, Josh Hodgson, Fodawaker, Nakora, Gardner, Tino, Peachy, Bullymore, Hamlin Uele, Kane Evans, and Katie Cust.
That team doesn't make the 8.
Thanks, bro.
Respectfully. You reckon, Scope? First year?
It weakens a lot of other teams, though, so you got to take that in consideration.
So Melbourne...
No.
Do you know what happens? So Cameron Munster goes to Melbourne, they just sign Scotty Drink. They bring Scotty Drinkwater back, and then he becomes your next Origin 5'8". That's what's going to happen. Clip this.
You look like, Hamiso and just say, for example, then Drinkwater's out of the Cowboys.
So you're going to weaken the Cowboys that aren't very good anyway?
Yeah, but is that a win for them? Is that 2 wins?
Is this a better side than the Cowboys? Yep.
That's 2 wins for the season if they play twice.
It's an odd number team, so they get the 2 points.
They're going to beat the Titans because they've taken all the Titans players. So there's another 2 wins.
Sorry, the Titans.
If you get the bye first round, you're stoked. You get your 2 points.
Yeah.
Well, the Titans are aside. Isaac and I were talking about this. When you have a look at the signing tracker, the good clubs have all their best players basically locked up through 2023 and beyond. Yep. And teams like respectfully to the Gold Coast, the Bulldogs, Dragons, everyone's coming off at once. So even the Warriors as well. So I don't pretend to understand recruitment. That's a fucking whole nother puzzle. This was just a quick little glance across the league.
Yeah, it was good.
What I thought.
Good
exercise.
I noticed you didn't take many Warriors.
No, I like to leave the boys where they are.
So he's taken Cody, who's already coming back anyway.
Reece Walsh is another one straight away. I was just thinking as soon as you said, if Reece Walsh...
Jackson's going, nah.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
If they go into 2023, I'd be throwing fucking... You know what? I'll do the same thing as they did with KP. Throw him a mill. Throw a milli at him. Yeah. See what if he's going to come for that.
Agree. I'd be doing.
And he's from Brisbane.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Nah, he's Goldie, bro. He's Goldie. He's from Nerang. Rough.
Oh, is he?
Rough around Nerang. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Well, that was a good little exercise. Let's roll into the fan questions. Obviously, we threw it up on YKTR Sport. Ice, we'll start with you here. This one comes from Brett Pike. Bit of a rugby union question.
Hey, we're mates with rugby union players.
Yeah, love
All Blacks. Love the All Blacks.
He just says rugby championship to be hosted in Oz. Guns to watch out for in that. And I suppose off the back of that, the reality of the boys spending up to fucking 13, 14, 15 weeks away from home.
Weirdly enough, I was on the phone to a guy named Aaron Smith over the weekend, just talking random stuff. And we started talking about this, bro. And he's got a baby on the way as well. So he's not too sure if he can be going away for. Bro, 15 weeks away is a long, long time. But, man, first thing I thought of when the All Blacks are going to go play out, they're playing in Townsville and shit too, eh?
They're based, the whole rugby championship's going to be based there. Yeah.
They're going to get the fucking All Blacks a dry pitch to play on.
Game over.
They're putting 50 on the Wallabies when it's fucking pissing down at Eden Park. No, I'm excited, bro. Do you know who one of my favourite players in the All Blacks at the moment is? David Havili.
Yeah, he's a gun, bro.
Second 5. I know when he was a little bit younger, apparently he just wanted to be the first 5. He had a coach say to him, you could be the best second 5 in the world. I think he's going to be the best second 5 in the world if he's not
already there or training there. Yeah.
Big, strong, can kick a ball.
When I watch him play, bro, I'd love to see him in league. He's that one player I'd love to see him.
Vibes, eh?
Yeah. Joey play centre or even back row, bro, because he looks big enough. Him and
he started as a
him
fullback.
And big Harry Wilson, bro, from the Wallabies too. He looks like he's got a bit of play him.
Swinton, bro. He's Swinton over at league. He's the fucking man. I'd love to see. But when I was talking to Aaron, I don't think they fear the Wallabies too much at the moment, man. The big games are going to be the South African games for us that love New Zealand.
They're the World Cup champs.
World Cup champions. Aaron Smith's going I'm going to be there. I've got a kid on the way, but I want to play the Springboks. That's the team I want to play.
So they just come out of Bledisloe as well, where they've
licked them.
Respectfully,
get Quaid back in there, man. Fuck,
he's right there. I know. If you're looking for a point of attack, and respectfully to the young. I like what the Wallabies are doing, getting these young guys experience now, and they are all super silky. But a guy like Quaid, even if you're just bringing him on for 30...
When's the World Cup? 23?
24, I believe.
24.
Yeah, so
Bro, does that first five look like Isan Masters?
Yeah, that's a good shout. What's it, Lolosio? What's his name? Lolosio?
Something like that. No, I'm pumped to have the over here as well, man. Man, like, leagueies, they hate rugby union over here, but, man, you can like both sports. Like, in New Zealand, all the union players love to watch league. They've got a favourite league side. Sam Cane, who's the captain of the All Blacks, loves talking about league, bro. So
he's at every Warriors game as well, that bloke.
Yeah, Ali Williams used to come to our games in, like, full Warriors kit, bro. So, like, I think New Zealand's a little bit different where they're not as big of haters across other codes. But the hard thing about Australia, bro, that they've never really had a side over the past 20 years to get behind.
Yep.
Like when the Reds were pumping 2011, bro, they were packing out Suncorp Stadium.
I suppose in a way it'd be hard for them to like. They do cop a lot of negative criticism in the papers about not being able to beat the All Blacks and the state of Australian
white collar sport, bro.
Australian rugby and that. So they probably just pull back into their shell.
Do you know what they do, bro? Over here, they turn their nose down to football sides. Oh, we go to private schools and we're from the eastern suburbs and all this sort of stuff like that. And they sort of push their nose up and down. So and then obviously when you're a blue collar sport, you go, oh, fuck these. Yeah. Fuck this, I'm not watching this. But rugby played right is a fucking mad sport to watch.
Yeah, me and Harry Wilson were talking about it. He's currently the Wallabies number 8 or flanker.
Number 8. He's their best player.
He's a gun. And he was talking
him and Marika.
He was talking about
Marika's the best. Marika's
and we was talking about how like it should be like how it is in the States. Like if you're from Chicago, you go for the Bears, you go for the White Sox, you go for the Cubs. It should be like because he's talking about he got pumped up around Origin time, and he's like. Make sure you keep that same energy for the Reds in the final against the Brumbies. And I said, yeah, bro, I got you. Like, because you know how we said we were Maroons fans this year and getting on the back of the Prez. And I said, yeah, bro, like that actually makes sense. Like we don't really do that over here. I think it's because the comps are a little bit different in the sense there are so many like New South Wales.
So if you go for the Roosters, you should be going for New South Wales and the Swannies.
Yeah,
is that how? Like,
yeah, you think so. Yeah.
As a
if you're Penrith, you're Greater Western Sydney.
Yeah, just even as a casual fan.
Like,
who do you go for? Like these guys.
Yeah, love it. Bit of Union chat snuck it in there. That's good.
Yeah,
David Havili, next big thing.
David Havili. Wait, when he was playing for Tasman at fullback in the early days, Damien McKenzie. 2.0 that kid, mate. Silky.
Don't give him the D-Mac. They're different
D-Mac
players,
different,
bro.
baby. Yeah.
D-Mac different. Skip, we'll start with you here. Oscorol, sorry if I've mispronounced that. Oscorol asks, out of the bottom 8 teams, who has the biggest turnaround next year?
All right, so I'm just going to get the ladder up just quickly. So you got, at the moment, why had the Sharks not making it and they're just going to be on the edge? Warriors, Dragons, West Tigers, Broncos, Cowboys, Bulldogs.
Biggest turnaround,
Warriors.
I suppose.
Biggest turnaround?
Me, Warriors.
Good boy.
Ishay's back. Reece Walsh is going to be a bit more comfortable.
Best prop tandem in the game. Well, outside of Penrith in terms of.
They were good. Fuck,
Blake
I wish they kept Pitter. Pitter's going to Cowboys, eh?
Yeah. Wish you were staying, eh?
Sweaty Mutters up there.
Yeah.
backing on Rocco Berry, I think.
He's good, bro. Rocco Berry's good.
Yeah.
Biggest turnaround?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the simple answer. Bulldogs. They're on 6 points. That means they've won 3 games. Is that correct? They only won 3 games. They've won 2 and a draw. They're going to have the biggest turnaround. Like with all the players that they've got.
Gus Gill coming in.
Gus is there. They get 4 or 5 key recruits next year.
I think that other half position's a big one for them,
If they get to 4 wins, that's over 50% fucking that's a turnaround of doom. So, simple answer is the Bulldogs. I think a team that can cause a little bit of dramas if they don't finish in the 8 this year is the Sharks with a few of their recruits as well. But, it looks pretty shaky, man.
I'm going Warriors, bro. I'll just...
Yep.
That's mine.
All right, Eyes, will start with you here. Nate Correll asks, please talk... Well, he doesn't ask. He just says, boys, please talk about DCE's form. Guy has the ball on a string at the moment.
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously we're friends with DCE, so we're very biased to anyone we're friends with. Very biased, but man, he's playing at an elite level right now. His kicking game is second to none. But besides, Nathan Cleary, Reynolds. Ches doesn't have as big of a boot or as much variation on his kicks and his kicking arsenal, but he can place it on the spot whenever he wants. So obviously, and people were still caught up on that bullshit that happened with DCE 5-6 years ago. It shows how powerful the media is. You know, the saying shit sticks, and he's openly come up to talk to us about he wished he'd handled that different because he sort of pulled himself back as well. But I think Scope's probably the better guy to talk about this. I know I'm a former half and I'm biased towards half, but man, he's right up there, bro.
Well,
he's slept on. He's
Yeah, what about just like the private messages between me and you? 2 carries in the first set last week.
That's when you know he's on.
Yeah.
When he's running, and he always seems to run like first set. So
yeah,
I think
he's getting in for scoots, and although they didn't start the best in the first half and they come home strong, and when it comes down to kicking I'm talking about purely kicking a field goal to win the game.
He's the best.
Or draw the game. There have been better players at the position in the history of the game, and those players have made big plays. But when it comes to purely kicking a field goal to win the game or tie it up, give me DCE over the field.
Yes.
Agree. Clutch. DC is the most clutch player to ever play rugby league in Golden Point. There's been better players in him, but he's the most clutch player to play. He can fucking kick him off both feet too.
Yeah, that's my favourite when he feints right, comes back on the left, and he's done it that much and kicked it that much that people are aware of it now. Like he can't even get to that left foot anymore because I guarantee, like as soon as
that's the best thing, the subtle difference where he'll face his shoulders out like that, fake the lefty, and he just goes bang right.
Yeah, we used to do it like at Manly to finish sessions every. Training, every last set of captain's run would be a field goal, set up for a field goal, and Ches used to mix it up and do it like every captain's run. So it's no fluke. We used to practice it all the time. So he sometimes he would shape up and just kick it right, probably 70% of the time. But if he was feeling himself and he had a good couple of weeks, he would fake right and come back and kick it off the left. So. Yeah, it's no fluke that he does that shit.
His playmaking slept on as well, like his ability, and we've always said this about Manly, they just play football, and they've probably got the most natural footballers within their team. Ches is in there, obviously Schuster's in there, the 2 Turbo boys. They just see football for what it is, and when you get called a footballer, it's just you're able to see the game a lot different than a lot of people. You see someone like Cooper Cronk who'd had to be trained into a position to get to a certain spot to have different looks, and off the back of muscle repetition, like he can pull off the right play. Man, Chisenat just see it so clearly. So
I didn't get your opinion on it in the group chat. You sat on the fence on it. There was a little bit of so we've got a group chat between Jimmy Bure's in there, Tommy Simons, a couple of ex-Manly players, and I was saying I love them both, Brad Parker and Moses Sully, but on the back of his performances in the last couple of weeks and that X factor that he could hold, I can see some value in Moses Sully starting. Obviously, Brad Parker's been named, so it's a moot point. But if it was your choice, who were you? Because you didn't answer.
I'll go Sully.
You go Sully?
Yeah.
So was it
Brad Parker's really good for their team.
Yeah.
They've probably got the most bang for buck centers in the comp.
Yeah.
The pool cleaner and. They wouldn't be on too much money, but they're fucking delivering them boys.
Sully's not on big money either, is he?
He took unders to stay.
Yeah, he took unders to stay as well. I think Dragons offered him a boatload.
I think but 18th man's a good little spot.
But we talked about it with Penrith, with Crichton and Edwards. If these are the decisions that you've got going into the finals, geez, they're great decisions. Like you've got players that are in form, that are playing well, and you're just trying to figure out who your best 17 is. Fuck that. For me, that sets you up so well for your team. Like, you're just trying to think, Desi's apparently he's a bit of a weirdo too, so having those sort of decisions and balance in it, and he can do the odd late change. We talked about it last week. Is Desi playing mind games? So, named Turbo and then pulled him out a little bit late. I told you he's a fucking weirdo, Desi.
He's playing chess, man, not checkers.
Yeah.
Here's a if he couldn't kick goals, I'd have Sully on the wing over Ruben Garrick.
I'm a weirdo. I love a good finisher like Alex
Johnson.
Johnson,
He does a good job,
Garrick,
man.
And he a lot of tries he scores, I'm not sure Sully does, but by the same token, a lot of times when Garrick gets
bringing the ball
touch,
back, how many times do you score a try off a Tommy Turbo pass when no one's around you versus how many times you actually bring the ball back off of your own?
That's where I see the value in Moses Sully, bro. Like when
when he gets around.
Yeah, when he did that cross underneath play, when it was like a bit of an arm wrestle and it was the fourth tackle and he skittled like 3 or 4 players. Jimmy Bure got into me because I said, this could be our version of Olam. And he goes, ease up, he's not Olam. And I said, yeah, I know. But he could be our version of it in the sense that sometimes when things aren't happening for Melbourne, Prez just gets the ball and throws it to Olam and he skittles and it doesn't necessarily make a break or score a try. But he fucking hurts 3 or 4 people and then they get up and it's a quick play to ball and then Prez, how you see him sometimes get into dummy half and he scoots and he might play short to someone and then they make a play and then you don't realise Justin Olam played that fucking ball. Yeah. And the defensive line was out of shape. So for me, when it comes into the bigger games and there's an arm wrestle, can Moses Sully be that difference maker?
Bro, a couple years ago, I don't think you were here, Scope, and Manly made the semis.
Yes, I do, against the Rabbitohs.
Bro,
Yeah.
he was all they had.
Yeah.
Like, literally. They had Turbo and all these guys. It was fucking get the ball to him, and he almost won the game there on their own. So I'm kind of with you, Scope. But
Can I make a Brad Parker argument? For argument's sake, Scope.
Yeah.
hey, Brad Parker's a gun.
I know, we're not saying that. But for the same reason you say Sully in those big moments, big games, etc., Brad Parker in those big games gives you a premium in terms of his defence, in terms of his...
Agree.
He doesn't have that era
That's why
in him
he's
that
got the
Moses
spot.
has. So
That's why he's got the. That's why he's got the spot, and he deserves it. And it's not like there was no right answers, by the way. It was 50-50 in the group chat. Ches come in and had his say. We'll keep that to keep that in the group because he's a part of the team.
But whenever you talk to the bigger dogs, they just want guys that are you know what you're going to get, and if they can make their fucking tackles, you're in the team. That's what big dogs think. Because Ches knows there's enough talent within Ches, there's enough talent within Tommy and Jakey that you're going to get points anyway. So, yeah, that's the argument.
That's a separation with Olam as well with regards to him. Like, that's why you can't call him like a guy like him, even though he's just devastating with the ball. Olam's just as potent in defence as he is a fucking gun. Like, he's
so scary.
He puts fear into the opposition's players sweeping on that back play, and he always seems to make the right decision. It's not like he just comes in all like
no, he gets it. Eh?
Yeah, he gets it. He makes the right reads, and he's patient, and then he closes in really sharply. So
really smart guy too. Like,
yeah.
Like a lot of people.
Yeah, he's got some degree in, is it like
engineering? Or
it's like
something like
physics
that.
or some shit. It's on, I don't want to speak out of turn, but he has some crazy qualification. Anyway, good question, Nate. Thanks, mate. Finishing up, we have a question for you, Isaac, from T_Elizabeth. Where do you see Heinz playing on the weekend? So remembering they're fully fit. So he's playing 17. So they got Pappy, Jerome, and Munster all back in. Where do you see him coming in?
Red Wine Romy. I love watching Jerome Hughes play. He's one of my favourite people to watch.
In what role do you see Heinz playing?
Same answer to that last question. There's probably no wrong answer. Yeah. I think with Heinz here, they've got more variations off the back of their shape. So a lot of the times they'll do this one where they fake drop off the back rower and they just zip it up to Heinz, and he's on the up, and he can pass the ball better than Pappy, but Pappy can run the ball better. So it's going to be a horses for courses. To answer your question, I'd still start him at fullback. I'd bring Pappy off the bench. Same rotation. I'd start Cheese at 9 and Harry Grant. If you won 18 games in a row, you don't fucking change it. You don't need to. And I wouldn't be worrying about next year. I'd be worrying about the chance to break the record for most games won in a row and then win a comp back to back. That's what I'll be focusing on right now.
I'm going Pappy at fullback. He's going to be there at the back end. He's going to be there at the back end, and he's going to be crucial for him. It's fucking such a luxury, man, to have Nico Hines on the bench at the moment.
Who do you want the two of the best 5 fullbacks in the comp right now?
Yeah, Nico Hines and Harry Grant coming off the bench, who would be not only starters but
franchise pillars.
So I'd kick out anyone else in any other position at any other team.
I wouldn't mind seeing Hines just a little bit. I think Sandor talked about it one time. Just
confident.
Nah, he's confident. He's got his confidence when he plays, but just a bit more upbeat, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's gone through his stuff as well.
I like people have their he's got his own little character. He's a bit deep in that too.
Yeah, but I coached him at Manly when I was at 20s, bro, and he was upbeat and about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He just seems so sad, bro.
Focus on footy. Sweet. Oh, that wraps it up, Ice, for the fan question segment anyway. So
yeah, we'll definitely add that into him. As always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're officially back.
Can you just hit record there, Skip? Big red button.